Hey, what's up everybody? I'm going to explain flat Earth to you. The Earth is a flat, motionless plane. The moon creates its own light. The moon creates the sun. The sun is basically a laser beam. The flat Earth is covered by a dome. It's a magnetic dome that's electrically charged. That's what the stars are. The stars are just energy, and the moon emits these light energy rays. It collects on the dome, and it's as if you were taking a magnifying glass and pointing it at the sidewalk. You would see a really bright light. That is a reflection of the energy that the moon is producing. That is why, and I'll explain this to you, the solar eclipse is only possible that the sun and the moon can both be perfectly fit together like this, is because the moon is actually facing the dome and it is shining right on itself. And this explains why the moon has all those craters, because right here the moon is facing intense heat and craters are popping off. And I'll prove that to you. Watch. See this? Arizona. This, they say, was a meteor. Look at this shape. Where do you see that shape on the moon? Watch this. Whoop, there it is. Looks like the moon's eye popped off, fell in Arizona, and Area 51 all of a sudden came about. Now, in the beginning, you know, the Bible says God created the earth and it was good. And the water, there's water above the firmament, and the great floods wiped out civilizations many years ago. And what's actually happening is, if you look at this, the Milky Way galaxy, this is where that laser beam of the moon connects to the magnetic dome, and it's almost like a scoring pattern. And if you look closely inside, you'll see the spiral sequence. It's like the Coriolis effect. In here, you'll find the Fibonacci sequence of numbers. Yeah, I can't really explain that too much. It's see these spirals here? It makes a hypertrochoid, and it's all magnetism. If you have a magnet, the magnet will produce an invisible field that creates this torus. So imagine this is a donut, there's a magnet in the middle. This black piece on the inside, the inverse of the torus, is why can't I think of the name of it? It's whatever. It's hex. I don't know. They don't teach you these shapes in school, but this outside ring is the torus, and in here whatever. I don't know why I can't think of his name. But if you look down on that donut, down that way, you'll get this pattern. And this is magnetism. You'll see this pattern in nature. You'll see it in sunflowers. You'll see this pattern in aloe plant. This is basically God's fingerprint. This is the magnetic North Pole. All energy. The flat Earth is basically, let me explain this to you. It's a battery. This is an ice wall that rotates the dome around the Earth. The magnetic North Pole is the anode. Out here is the cathode. If you know how a battery works, you need salt water. Here's the salt water connection. As the Earth spins, or the dome spins, it creates this energy. Electrons fly down here to the cathode, charge up the dome, and the moon gets its energy, relays it across, reflects. When light's reflected, you get rainbows. Rainbows only happen on reflected lights. So if you wanted to make a rainbow inside, you'd need a mirror. The dome acts as the mirror because the reflected light comes off the dome, and when it hits a droplet of water, it refracts to 42 degrees. Between 40 and 42 degrees. The lower end of the spectrum, light spectrum, would be 40, and the top would be 42 degrees. This is what Nikola Tesla was discovered when he made the Tesla coil. Free wireless energy. Our Earth produces its own electricity. And that's how tides are caused, because as the ice wall is rotating around, it's all motion. Life exists it's very simple, really. It's force and motion, inertia and acceleration, creates basically everything. I had a picture of the aurora borealis, but that shows, magnetism. This is what I was talking about, the Fibonacci sequence. This is like a Nautilus shell. You'll see this pattern. It's all about doubling. The ratio, it's called the golden ratio. It's 1.618 to 1, and this ratio is seen in almost everything in nature. Hurricanes, you look at the Milky Way, here it is again. This is that same exact Fibonacci code, and like I said, the waters above the firmament, well, this is the laser beam that is the moon cutting our dome. And if we create the wrong energy and too much of it, the great floods will come again. And this is how it happened. The light from the moon bore a hole through the dome and flooded everybody out. And I figured out how it's going to happen and when. And it's real. Here's an example of the flat Earth. Nikola Tesla was obsessed with the numbers 3, 6, and 9. They make the triangle. And life basically exists in a trifecta of trifectas, which is space, time, and matter. And within space, time, and matter, there's 3 elements to life. Space, you have length, width, and height. Matter, you have solid, liquid, gas. And time, you have past, present, future. And God is outside that realm. And you will not understand God, but you can understand his fingerprint, and he left it here for us. This is called vortex math, vortex mathematics. They teach it in MIT. You take the numbers 1 through 9. You get 1, you double it, you get 2. 2, you double it, you get 4. 4, you double it, you get 8. 8, you double it, you get 16. But 6 and 1 is 7. And so on, 32. 3 and 2 is 5. So you can do this indefinitely. And what happens here is you start making the torus pattern, which is magnetism. And I still can't think of the name of this thing. Hexa, I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on that. But this torus pattern, there is not a physicist in this world that can disprove anything that I'm telling you right now. So I really appreciate if you share this video and we take our world back. And this is God's world. If you're sick and tired of all these politicians debating on whether or not people can go to a transgender bathroom as if, peeing, really? Do we really need to go to Capitol Hill to tell people where to pee? that's what we're worried about, if you're going to let these bankers run away with all the money and the power, then keep fighting about that stuff. If you're sick of it, if you want your world back, if you want to see God back, share this video. That's all I'm going to say. I know how to fix it, and you need to get this out there.